This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So we are talking about internet sleuthing.
This is so exciting.
If you know one, it's so handy because you can kind of outsource it.
Yeah. And these people have tricks that you don't even think about. Because sometimes you're Googling the simplest stuff, you can't find it out.
Yeah.
These people have, internet sleuths have uncovered who Martha is from Baby Reindeer, and that was the secret the show really wanted to keep. So we're seeing if the people of Perth have these sleuthing powers.
If there's any guys out there, 13, 24,
Sure,
10, because you did pose the question, Nate.
I would love to find if there is a guy that does this out here, because it does seem like it's going to be predominantly women.
Well, have we found one? Jeremy, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Jeremy!
Are you an internet sleuth?
Oh, a little bit. So it's a little bit of a long story, but I'll keep it quick.
No, I love it.
So 5 years ago, my wife and I were looking for a puppy. So my wife found a puppy online, and she wanted to go and have a look at it. And obviously, we're not leaving without a dog because she's fell in love with it.
Yeah.
We bought this little toy poodle in Karrinyup, and then we got it home, and I was just looking over the paperwork to obviously register the dog, and when you get paperwork, it had the lady's name we bought the dog off.
Okay.
It was whited out, and it had her name on top, and I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. So I held the piece of paper up to the light, and there was another person's name underneath.
Yes.
So I jumped online. I was like, oh, I'll Google this lady, couldn't find her. And then I was like, oh, I'll just jump on Facebook and see if I can find her.
Yeah.
So I jumped on Facebook, found the lady's name, and it had like a photo of like this little litter of puppies, toy poodles.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, just give it a go. So she was in the Gold Coast. So I messaged her, and I said, oh, look, I've just bought these puppies. Do you know anything about them? And she goes, oh, what puppies? And I said, oh, I just bought this puppy, and sent her a photo. And she goes, oh, that lady. And I was like, oh, okay, this is weird.
Oh,
Turns out that the lady I bought the puppy off bought the puppy from the Gold Coast a week ago. I bought the puppy for $5,000. She sold the puppy for $2,000.
Jeremy!
Reselling the puppies.
So she's a puppy reseller.
She's a puppy
With a serious markup.
Yeah, Joker, go. Sorry, keep
So
going.
I was like, I thought, oh no, I can't let this lady win. So I messaged the lady I bought the puppy off in Perth and sent her a message and said, oh, I just want to pop round and just say, oh, thank you so much for giving me this dog. And she was like, oh, yeah, no worries, come round. So I went round to her house, and I said, oh, just out of curiosity, where did the puppy come from? And she goes, oh, just my farm down in Southwest. I said, oh, okay, no worries.
Yes.
Okay, well, I just spoke to a lady in the Gold Coast, and she basically, her jaw dropped. She left her husband at the door. She walked off, didn't come back, and I said, I'm not leaving until I get my money back.
Yes.
And the husband just didn't know what to do. He was just caught in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got all my money back and the dog.
Oh! What?
So are you saying you got the whole $5,000
back.
or
You got
just
the
the
dog for
three,
free.
the difference?
No.
Yep, I got it all back. And it turns out I did some searching. I went back on the line in her local neighbourhood and like Toy Poodles Perth or whatever it was.
Yes.
And it turns out that the lady's like a serial dog
Reseller.
She buy dogs on the cheap and sells them for more profit.
Just gives them a new
So
hairdo.
she's obviously
Brushes their
she did a
teeth.
good business.
Yeah,
she got
she's
me pretty well.
entrepreneurial, yeah.
But not just that, you going back there and then when you present her with that and then you going, no, you're a liar, and then standing there and wanting your money back. I don't have that image, Sean. I don't have it.
Probably the worst bit, and my wife hates me for it.
What?
I didn't know. I thought, oh, it's a bit weird me going back and saying, oh, thanks for giving me a dog I've just spent $5,000 for. So I said, oh, look, I've just got you a little present. So I ended up going with a empty BWS bag.
Playing the whole...
What a great bait and switch.
Is it illegal to
Jeremy.
do? Is it illegal to do that?
I tell you what she
Because
did.
you're upselling a dog, right?
She falsified the papers,
Falsified
so that
the papers.
is that's
Okay.
fraud. Yeah. But other
She
than
did
that,
herself
no,
in
essentially.
$2,000.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. The empty BWS bag.
Yep.
Jeremy,
Jeremy,
the
that was
genius, and we
Jeremy,
love it.
They're looking for Netflix is looking for a new series
Yes.
to make. They're calling
That's
now.
it.
They
That's
want to
it.
make it on
That's
this.
the series, 6 episodes right
Mate,
there.
I love it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Andrew's in Mount Helena. Hello, Andrew.
How you going, guys?
Hey, good, Andrew.
Did somebody sleuth on you, did they? What happened?
They did. A while ago when I got together with one of my ex-misses, we got together and she goes, I did a bit of a search on you before we got together.
Yeah.
And she goes, you might want to take down this photo off Facebook. And I'm like, why is that? And she goes, well, if you zoom in over your shoulder, you can see your bank details.
Oh, really, Andrew? That's fantastic. Anyway, how much did she fleece you for?
selfie, and it had the angle, and it was like on the table behind me.
I know.
Okay,
Wow.
there are many levels that make this story brilliant. Basically, and it's fairly standard these days
Yes.
to do a bit of an internet search on somebody that you have met on an app, for example. You
Yeah,
would,
that's
wouldn't
a
you?
fair call.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to get murdered,
But then
do
the
you?
fact that she zoomed in enough to see your bank details. I mean, I
was
like that she
looking at
warned you.
Everything.
She
It
could've-
reminds me
yes.
of, you know what? It reminds me of, I remember years ago someone gave me, my mate was given a phone and the guy that gave it to him didn't clear the photos. And there was like probably 50 or 60 of the slightly different adjusted photos of a naked photo of him in the mirror. And in the background, he just had strategically placed like a guitar, an eagle scarf, something
Yeah,
else,
sure.
so you can show his likes. And I thought, who the hell zooms into the back of photos like that? They do.
Yeah, they do.
People do zoom in. That is crazy. You got to check everything.
Yeah, that's right. Be careful what you post, everybody. Well done, Andrew. Thank you. Maddie's in Madley. Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Maddie, are you an internet sleuth?
I am indeed.
What
okay,
happened?
talk us through it.
I had suspicions my ex was cheating on me. And he interested in an event, and he told me he was going to this event and everything. And I was like, okay, no worries, like enjoy.
Yeah.
And then he posted a video, and he was like filming the event, and I saw like this chick's hand get in the frame of the video.
Really?
I was like, okay. And I had quite a few friends that were at the event, and I was like, can you guys like try to get a little closer to my partner at the time?
Yes.
Just like take some selfies around him, just trying to see if he's with a chick.
Okay.
So they did, and I found the photo of her, so I screenshotted that photo, went through his Facebook to see any profile pictures that looked like this girl.
Yes.
Found this girl, and then found out she'd been love reacting his photos.
Yes.
Confronted him the day after, and he fully told me he was cheating on me.
Oh!
Congratulations,
You know what I love
Maddie.
about that is
Maddie.
you sent in a SWAT team. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? You were like
That's
you were
right.
watching from the distance, and you got
Yeah.
people on the ground, boots on the ground.
Maddie's Angels coming to the rescue.
That is so. So was that just like you discovered that all within that night?
Yeah.
Yes, within like the hour.
And then the next
Within
day
the
confronted
hour.
him, and then he says yes, and then the relationship was done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gee, you can't get away with
I
much
know.
these days.
Maddie, they
I mean,
should
if you're
get
good,
you.
you can.
They should get you to be
I
the.
had like decided that night that it was done. So then the
Yes.
next day, I had such a blunt face, and I was just confronting him.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
was
when you
up.
can
At
throw
first
the
he was
evidence
trying to
down.
lie. He was
Yes.
trying to lie at first, and then I showed him the photo, and he was like, "Oh,
Good on him.
You should be on Hunted as one of the hunters. You know
That
what
was
you're
so
doing.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
brilliant
yeah.
work. Thanks,
Okay,
Maddie.
let's finish off with Lisa from Sterling. Hi, Lisa.
hello."
Hi, Lisa.
Lisa.
All right, Lisa.
So we are here for it.
Are you a
What
sleuther?
happened?
Yes. So basically, I used to catch the train every day to work and back home with this guy who looked really cute. And this happened for a few months. We used to also get coffee at the same spot.
Yes.
Now, this was unfortunately a coffee place that didn't really call out the name.
Oh, damn.
They
Damn
just
it.
handed you the coffee. Somebody
Yeah.
just handed you the coffee at the end of the day.
Okay.
One day it so happened that they called out his name.
Oh.
So all I had was a first name. I knew that he worked in a building that was close to me, or rather next door to me.
Yeah.
almost.
What,
Yes.
okay, so
My
the first name, can we have the first name?
No.
Because if it's a
'Cause
John
everyone-
or something like that, it's harder.
I know,
But,
but-
you know, if it's an Alphonse, it's
Yes.
a bit easier.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes. So I Googled the occupants of those buildings, like the officers that were in that building.
Yeah.
Looked on their internet profiles to see if his photo may be on there,
Yes.
as well as in LinkedIn, because he was always dressed nicely
Yes.
in, a proper suit and pants. So I found out who he was, where he worked, and then maybe a few weeks or so later, he was actually waiting for me at my car in the car park.
What?
Yes.
And yeah, the rest is history.
Wait there,
You
wait
know?
there. So why was he waiting for you at the
Yeah, because
car?
we wanted to ask
Because
her
he
out.
wanted.
So, but like,
he was wanting
so
to
he was wanting to
ask-
ask you out as well at the same time you were wanting to ask him out.
Yes.
So I
we
wonder
met-
what sleuthing he did to get to you.
I don't think he did anything because he didn't know my name.
Well,
but
in
I
your
kind of
car?
knew what-
But I thought
Well,
you called the train. What were you doing? What was your car doing in the car park?
in the car park at the train
Oh,
station.
the train
This is
station.
amazing.
That is amazing.
While
Yes,
you
and
were
so married
sleeping
and
in.
have a kid.
Yeah. Now you
married and
go.
got a
Well
kid.
done.
That's good.
There you go.
That's
Sleuth,
wonderful.
everybody. Sleuth hard. It brings people together.
I'm sorry. Stalking is getting a bad rap. Listen to the happiness.
It's
A lot of happiness.
it's not
is it?
stalking if both parties are willing.
God, that is
Then it's just
amazing,
getting
Sean.
together.
Do you want to become a stalker now?
Well, I just hope it works out with one of the 10 people I'm currently watching.
Nathan,
It's the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
we're laughing because we're joined by comedic legend
Yeah.
and friend of the show,
Oh, he's such a good
Stephen
guy.
K. Amos.
Steven.
And he's just telling us stories from the jungle because, of course, you're on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me
Not
Out of
things we
Here.
can share.
Of course, we cannot share.
Yes.
No.
But let's talk about
Oh,
something we
what's that?
can share. Let's talk about one thing we can share.
Are you just playing a Wimba Wumba?
Yes.
with?
Yes.
Well, that's a bit
Because
insensitive.
of the jungle.
A bit racist, Harry.
I'm not in the jungle now, you know. Well, that's really funny. Actually, when I arrived back, I've been in the country for like 2.5 weeks. My ego was I thought, oh my God, I've been on TV every night
Yes.
of the week in Australia. Everyone's going to know who I am. So I arrived at Brisbane Airport.
Yeah.
And you fill out those landing cards.
Yeah.
And he was going, so where have you just come from, sir? And I went, the jungle. And he went, don't be silly, mate. No, where have you come from?
You're a household name.
I know.
I
thought,
do like the fact that you underwent a transformation in the jungle, though, because you learned to swim. Now, how did you never learn to even float before?
This is a question that's come up time and time
Yes.
again. I live in London and I have no reason to swim.
Yeah,
I don't
I suppose
live near
so.
the sea.
Yeah.
I live
But you
in the
travel a
city.
lot.
I travel a lot, and I don't think the plane's going to crash in water. I'm very positive now.
statistically, it probably
Yeah,
is.
well, don't tell me that now. Anything else?
So how does it feel to be able to swim now? Barely, I'm guessing.
So Ellie Cole, a Paralympian, she taught you.
Ellie Cole,
Yeah.
legend. Now, the
Yes.
thing is, that taught, I think, myself and hopefully other people a lesson. If you're in a situation where there's nothing to do,
Yes.
you have got no access to technology and decent food,
Yes.
and you're with a Paralympian gold medalist,
Yeah.
Yes.
17 medals, and she says, you can't swim, I'll teach you how to swim, you'd be a fool to say no, right?
Yes.
100%.
And I never thought I would be picking up a hobby at my age.
Yeah.
I'm content.
Yes.
But it was life changing.
Yeah.
I
That's
swear to God.
amazing.
David,
Well
is
done.
everyone in your family, like you're one of 7, mate. So
Yeah.
the whole family, all the kids, not swimmers, or it was just you?
To be honest, I haven't checked with them all. I can only speak for myself.
They haven't mentioned it.
Because when we were kids, we used to in the primary school, we were taken to a swimming bath to be shown how to swim. But it was like a class of 35 kids. The teachers weren't really paying attention.
So you
and
never
in
got
those
in?
days, I got in. No, I wasn't that good. Where's Stephen? He's definitely got in. No, I got in, but I would just walk along the bottom and just kick my legs up.
and then pretend you were
And then
swimming on
pretend
top.
I was swimming.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I got my 10-yard swimming certificate. That's what they did. back then.
That's they used to give a swimming certificate, and then we
Yeah.
go, oh, what are you up to? And
Yeah,
Okay.
like that. And then the next certificate you got after that, you had to they threw you in the water,
Yeah.
fully clothed,
Clothed.
and they'd see how you can. And I didn't even get in the water then.
You know, I'm not ruining a
just
perfectly good
I
outfit.
was fully clothed and just sat on the bank. I've survived, but you're dry, Stephen. Well,
Yeah,
shallow.
I know.
Do you think you can swim now?
I'm very confident to be able to floating, for example.
Yes.
I did honestly have a fear of water. When I say water, I mean the expanse. You know,
Yeah.
there's
Yes.
nothing to hold on.
Yes.
I can have a shower. I'm not an
Yeah.
idiot. I can walk out.
You are English, so
I can walk out in the rain. What's happening? But when there's nothing to hold on to,
Yes.
you just feel out of your depth. But when I got comfortable. This is all down to Ellie Cole. Just to know your body can do so many amazing things
Yeah.
for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the breathing helps you float. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But now if you were to fall into a body of water that your feet couldn't touch the bottom
Yeah.
of, will you survive?
I will survive by keeping calm.
Yeah.
Right, the first thing, and I would float on my back.
Yeah.
Love it on my back.
And hopefully float to the shore.
And no, but swim.
Oh,
Oh,
you
you're gonna-
can
oh, so
propel.
you're gonna do.
Yes.
Imagine a rich lady in a pool.
Yes.
And she's laying back and she's like slowly just drifting her hands back and forth.
Yes.
That's how he swims.
But it was incredible because I did a show in Sydney over the weekend, and after the show, a young lady came up to me and said, "Oh, my dad's in the audience. He loved your show tonight. You know what he did this morning?" I said, "No, what did he?" He said he took his first ever swimming lesson just because of you.
You've inspired people.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
yeah, he was probably about my age, and I was just like, I wouldn't have ever considered it. And I think that's one of the things with this show. I was really hoping that we'd be able to talk about different sort of subjects, maybe some that are quite sensitive or whatever, and get really in depth.
Deep
I spoke to Callum, for example, about the history of South Africa and apartheid, and the fact that 35 years ago I wouldn't be in that show.
No.
And Callum, that generation, perhaps, I don't know, can't speak for all of them, he didn't know anything about apartheid.
Oh, my God.
Or
Nelson
who
Mandela,
Nelson Mandela was.
He's been to a party or two. He was like, I don't see the
Steve,
problem.
why did you go on the show in the first place?
I tell you, that's a really good question.
That's all I got.
I think when I was here...
Well done, Sean.
Take the day off.
See you next week.
Take the day off. No, for me, it was the pandemic.
Right,
the pandemic happened when the world stopped to everybody.
Yeah.
I was here in Australia about to do a massive tour, and I was back in London, and as I say, the first couple of weeks, I loved it, but it did give me a chance to reflect and think about what I wanted to do with my life, and think that, you know what, I can do so much more. I just keep doing this routine of stand-up, and so as post-pandemic, I did a play, outside in the West End. I did a West End musical. I think I told you about that last week. My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
And then I never thought I'd do reality at all.
Yeah.
Because being in a situation where you're not in control of your edit
Yes.
Oh, of course.
is like just giving yourself up.
Well, especially with people that have an established career. I always say reality TV is something for people that have nothing to lose.
Yes, or they need the redemption arc.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when they asked me, I was like, they've asked me for a couple of reasons. I thought I'd be there for a week or two.
Yeah.
The first person voted out because comedy people know who I am, but outside of comedy, that's a real big, wide world.
Yes.
And I'm not really a reality TV person. And also, because I do jokes and comedy, people assume I'm funny 24/7.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Yep.
Because that would be so insufferable.
You do take 10 minutes off.
Imagine that person. Imagine it.
There were people in there. I'm not, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and one of them asked me early days in the jungle, "Oh, are you on?" I'm like, "No, this is me. I'm not on. I'm not," because I could not do
on? So they were like, are you switching yourself on for the camera now?
And I said no. And there is a way to and a way to perform in reality TV that it's its own beast.
And we've got Stephen K. Amos with us.
In the house,
and
in
you
the
just
house.
hinted you're going to be starring in a movie.
Well, do you know, I've got my...
Starring?
Again, it was one of the...
Yes, Darren.
When I've been to a movie theatre. No, I was saying earlier about me trying to do different things.
Yes.
I've got a little part in my first movie, and it's not OnlyFans. It's a sequel to a very, very popular 1980s comedy horror film.
Comedy
Evil
horror.
What?
Evil Dead?
No.
Ghostbusters.
No.
Comedy horror.
Comedy horror.
Freddy Krueger.
No, that was just horror.
That was just horror.
1980s, did you say?
1980s.
Comedy
Think late 80s.
horror.
Really famous director.
Where's no, not Wes.
No.
No.
I can't say it three times.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah!
Beetlejuice.
Don't say it again. Don't say it again.
That's really interesting. So,
Yes.
Winona Ryder, yes, she's in it.
Yeah.
So it's so Gina Davis no longer in it.
She's not in it, no.
Okay, so it follows Winona, and it would be Winona's children.
Yeah.
How exciting! Because Winona had a big resurgence off of the success of Stranger Things.
Yes. And she was
So
lovely.
good.
I met her on set.
Did you?
And she was like, "Oh my
I
God,
love her.
Stephen Amos, the comedian. You're so funny. Let's exchange information. We can be friends."
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I've
Did
not
you go?
heard from
Oh
her.
my God! You too. I loved it when you went shoplifting. Remember when
No,
she
I
went
didn't say that.
No,
No.
remember when she went shoplifting?
Yes, that's the biggest
No,
thing.
but it didn't make me dislike her. I loved her. It's like,
Leave
Winona
her
Ryder
alone.
shop life. That's great.
Leave her alone.
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
still
love
waiting
her.
to hear from her.
Really? Have you sent her a text?
Yes.
What'd you
God.
say?
It's me.
And did she not
Hello?
respond? Did she read it? Was it delivered?
Have you been left on
read?
red?
Yeah.
You know why?
It doesn't
No,
hurt
she
that
won't
much.
answer. She thinks it's a Nigerian scammer.
Let it go. Let it go.
I like God,
So what's your part in it?
Yeah.
What, can you tell us about the role?
Yes. Well, I'm not. I can't tell you the roles
You're a
specifically,
ghost
but yes.
Yes, you're.
But it's a really, really elaborate scene, and it's really fun.
Oh, really?
And
That's so cool.
When you think about Tim Burton and his
Yes,
mind,
yes.
it's just like, yeah.
And
That's so
remember what it looked like to us. It was a visual treat. Now, if you look at Beetlejuice, I mean,
go, oh my God,
their
yeah.
effects were so terrible. What they could do with it now will be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And Michael Keaton back reprising the
good.
role. Wow.
That's amazing.
So you filmed this, Stephen?
Yeah,
already?
it's done.
When's it come out?
I think it's coming out in Australia anyway. I think September I read
Cool.
somewhere. The reason why I'm mentioning it now with such grandiose confidence is I got an email at the top of the year asking me of my correct spelling of my name for the credits.
Oh, so you haven't been, so you know you haven't been cut.
Can you imagine? I've been there before.
That is
I've
so
done a
funny.
whole series in the UK, and I told all my friends. I even discarded a few friends. You are dead to me. I don't want to see you again. And of course, the series was canned, and I didn't. And I was like, oh.
What was that series about?
Oh, it was about. It was like a game show, and it was called a Mob Rule.
Yeah.
And it was basically. It's like a question and answer. So we have contestants,
Yeah.
and then we'd ask 100 people
Oh,
what
100.
their opinions of something,
Yeah.
and then you'd have to guess what.
That's Andy
percentage.
Lee does it here. It's the
There's a
100.
show called The 100.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is it? Which
Exactly
is Mob
that.
Rule. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Who does it?
Andy Lee.
Oh, I got Andy Lee.
Hamish and Andy.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. It's a big success here.
And they said it was the host that really pulled it through. It was going to be
It
chopped.
does,
but-
yeah. With the right host, that's
Right.
shocking, really.
With the right
So,
host, they'll do anything.
Oh my God! Wow. What if I didn't come in this morning?
Yeah, exactly. Well, your confidence would be sky high.
I know.
So, Stephen, thanks for coming in.
Oh,
you.
no.
It's been a joy to have you.
Oh, the joy's all been yours.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
So, Nathan's caught the Temu bug, and there's no going back now unless you can convince him that there might be some negatives
You are a
to it.
mad internet shopper because you
And-
get, I reckon.
And you fall down rabbit holes,
You
and
do,
we can't
massively.
get you back.
In my Temu cart at the moment,
Yes.
because when I see something that I like, I
Put it
just
in the
whack
cart.
it in there. There's 150 items.
Righto, just give us the first two right now.
The first two?
Yeah.
I wanted the
Can you
first
see
two.
that in the
No,
cart?
I'll go back up. Oh, there is Scandinavian wall hooks.
Do you have some Scandinavian walls?
And a vintage wooden perpetual calendar. For some reason, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to get it.
No.
I'm just saying I like it and I don't want to go back and look for it. So, Natalie, I had chosen something that I thought that you would love.
Here we go.
And this is a duck that holds your keys with its mouth because it's magnetic.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Nathan, do not buy that for me.
And I found a bookmark, which is
'cause
which is
I read.
yeah, it's the Wicked Witch of the West when she's been flattened by the house. So it's just her legs sticking out, and then that's a bookmark. And I thought that would be a fun little thing for you.
Nat's in Maylands. Good morning, Nat.
Hi, how you going?
Hi,
No,
Nat.
we're worried about Nathan.
Oh, we are.
He's-
We've,
Well,
this is
not for the first time.
My husband and I both love Temu, and a parcel arrives all the time. We never know who it's for because every couple of days one's arriving, and they've always been fantastic, except when he thought he was getting like a crowbar type thing for work, and it arrived. It was like a little 2-inch thing that now sits on his key ring.
Yeah. See, that was the thing.
Yeah.
We had a discussion about this because a little while ago, my wife jumped on this place, and I forgot
Wish.
it now.
It was
called
Wish,
Wish,
yeah.
and she got this ottoman amongst a couple of things, and it was the size of a small dinner plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sean's told me so many times, it's not the size of the crowbar, it's how you use it.
I have.
Now, the thing is, though,
Check the
tip,
measurements,
you've got to
yes.
check the measurements.
Yes.
You've got to check the
It
measurements.
does have. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, straight away, because that story about Megan,
Yeah.
that lays in my
Sticks
head all
in
the
your
time.
brain,
Yeah, so I was
yeah.
expecting all this to be like for a dollhouse. They actually do have furniture and stuff for dollhouses that people misread and think they're
Yes.
getting like an amazing table setting,
Yeah.
and then it rocks up and it fits in the palm of their hand.
That's a trap for young
Oh, well,
players.
now he's got a good key ring anyway.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
there you go. All right,
right, Nat.
thanks,
Thank you.
Nat.
Crowbar.
Paula's in Banksia Grove. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Paula.
Talk to us about your Temu experience.
So it wasn't me, it was my husband.
Yeah.
He jumped on the Temu bandwagon and he thought he was getting a ripper deal. He ordered a dinnerware set. So he got some plates and some dinner plates, some side plates and some cups. And anyway, he thought, I've got such a deal coming. He also ordered some towels as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, they arrived and he didn't even open them. He was like, what the hell?
Sorry,
Anyway,
wait there. Your phone just started cutting out. What was that again?
Oh, he didn't even open up the box. He was just like, there's no way that these are proper dinner sets.
Okay.
Anyway, he opened it up finally when I got home.
Yeah.
And he was bitterly disappointed because they turned out to just be plasticware. So it turned out...
So he thought it was going to be fine china from China.
Oh, yeah,
and it
yeah.
wasn't.
He thought he was getting such a deal. And then the towels that he also ordered, they're probably big enough to cover your left toe.
Yeah, right. So they're like hand
Right.
towels or
So
something.
this
yes.
is the thing, though. I do need to hear this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But did he not read the measurements as well? Because it's all written there. It's all written there.
No,
I think the
that's
photos
a
can
male
be
trait, isn't
deceiving.
it?
I think people just look at the photos, whereas I've got
Yes.
these warnings behind me. So, you know what? This is terrible. I have not been discouraged yet.
No, okay. All right. Thank you, Paula. 13 24 10. Have you had a bad Temu experience? We need to give Nathan the dose of reality he needs.
Here's the other thing I found for you, Natalie.
Oh, here we go.
So
But-
this is
What?
a plant. This is a crocheted plant hanger.
Okay. We have a $150 voucher to Hillary's Beach Club, by the way.
It's like the aliens out of Sesame Street. Look at
they
that.
do.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's in your basket.
Yeah, for Natalie.
Oh.
But I can crochet. I could just make that myself.
No, you don't have to.
I mean, I wouldn't. Nathan's still talking about his clothes.
It's really into it. It's really into it. Well, it's got a deal.
It's a lot.
So he has gone down the rabbit hole and it's got him by the leg. He's
Yep.
stuck down there in the warren.
Yep.
We're worried that we can't get him back. So we need to hear your stories of negative Temu
Thank you, Natalie, because
experiences.
I'm right now I'm living in a positive world of Temu, and I need to be frightened out of it because otherwise this is going to be dangerous, and you're going to be getting crocheted alien hangers and.
Well, we call this guy Temu. Hello, Tim.
That was clever.
Thanks,
Don't do it,
Tim,
Nathan.
thanks.
Don't do it.
Okay, so
Okay,
talk to us. Why not?
What happens?
So it was literally only just a couple of weeks ago. I got absolutely Temu'd. So look, I'll admit it. I'm a bit of a plane nerd, so I like to collect my models.
Yeah.
So you can get this cool little, metal kind of plane models and all the rest of it. And I was like, yeah, awesome. I got this really cool, doesn't matter which type, KLM. Anyway.
No, it doesn't.
Royal Dutch Airlines, I've flown them.
It does matter which
Royal
type.
Dutch, mate.
Doesn't matter which one. So anyway, so I get all these models come in. I thought, oh, that's weird. That one's missing. And then inside the box, down the bottom, was this little kind of cardboardy, or say a bit of paper, and it had like a Pikachu to kind of cut out and make yourself. And I was like, that's really strange. I didn't order that. So I kind of gave it to my daughter. I was like, go, have fun.
Yeah.
Then I realised, I look a bit further, inside the box was about 20 sheets of white paper printed out with a model of this plane that wasn't there.
Oh, wait, it was a model for a paper plane.
I had to make it. Cut it out,
It was the
glue it
IKEA
together.
version of a model plane.
But it wasn't like one of those cardboard ones where it's like serrated edges where you pull it out and clip it in or anything. It was literally like A4 sheets of paper that they got from Officeworks and just printed.
Whacked it
So
through
you
the
had
Hewlett
to
Packard
get the
printer.
scissors and cut around as well?
How much was it? How much was it?
It was about $19.
$19 you spent on that?
You could have done that yourself, I'll
Wait
be
there,
honest.
what was the $19 supposed to buy you? An actual model of a plane?
Yeah. My wife reacted the same way.
How many models of planes do you have, Tim?
Not many. It's a new thing.
Okay.
It all started when I bought the Concorde Lego, and then it just kind of...
It's rolled on from there. Sorry.
It's been a slippery slope there.
Let's go back to this. How much Lego do you have, Tim?
Oh, that's another story altogether. That's a lot. Not me. My wife is... She just built the almost 2-metre high Eiffel Tower. So that was
my God.
So
How
your
good's
wife,
that?
so you're now into model planes and your wife's into Lego.
100%, yeah.
Oh, you're my kind of couple.
Hey,
And
Tim,
but
is
the
she
kids
good?
are managing the stock portfolio, so it's fine.
Tim, is she good enough to be on Lego Masters? I mean, that'd obviously be a show that you'd be up for.
Oh, she always talks about it. She's pretty good. She can... The problem is with Lego now, it's not really a challenge. Like, she'll just sit there and bang one out in a night. And then she's like, oh, that was okay. She just...
Wow.
That was okay.
Good
not
times
even a
down at your
challenge.
house, isn't it, eh?
I know.
Good on you. Thanks, Tim. Kirsten, hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Kirsten.
All right, Kirsten. Nathan needs to hear some cautionary tales about Temu. What have you got for him?
The paper plane didn't do it. I'm still in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my partner bought, he thought he was buying Nike and Hugo Boss like tracksuit sets, like jumpers and pants.
Yeah.
So, but, just didn't look closely enough at the symbols. So the Nike one's got the tick and the IKE, got no N. And then the Hugo Boss one, it's Ike, yes. And then the Hugo Boss one is spelled BQSS.
No trademark on that.
It's like they sent me the wrong things, and I'm like, hey, maybe go back and have a look at the actual pictures.
No, they sent me the wrong things. No, it was $4. They sent you the right thing.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Kirsten, is the quality of the stuff good, or is it just?
It's smaller than he thought, but it's nice and thick and warm.
Yeah, the fabric's good. It's put together right.
Dad was the first person in my family to jump on Temu, which is amazing because Dad doesn't trust internet shopping. And Dad got some stuff sent over, but he ended up buying some tops for him and Mum. And the material is something that it's not far from Christmas wrapping.
Really?
Highly synthetic.
Highly synthetic sort of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I personally wouldn't buy clothing from there. Yes. So that has not persuaded me either. So this whole segment didn't do its job.
Well, that's because I think you've decided you want to be pro Temu.
No, I'm not going to be buying like knockoff Gucci and stuff like that.
You say that now.
I don't do that sort of stuff. You know me. I'm simple. Uniqlo. Simple boy.
Yeah, have you bought any Uniflow?
I haven't checked for Uniqlo though. I'll chuck it in today.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.